happy tree then.
All right, so there we are. Welcome to the Action Sturge. Tonight we are going to be playing some Dungeon World. This will be the second session of our campaign here. We've had a romping good time so far. Um, Make sure to check that out. And if you want to check that out, you can check that out on our YouTube page, which you can find the link on our Twitch page. And if you're over there and you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe. And it goes a long way to building the community. We want to give a special shout out to dndwow.com. They are an amazing purveyor of dice. They have all kinds of cool like metal color changing dice, and they have a big dice that specifically, if you use our code theactionsturge at checkout on their website, you can get a 10% discount off of it, which is fantastic. And with that, let you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves, starting with Deacon Smith. Just say who you
I'm
are,
Deacon
who you're
Smith.
playing, and I don't know, one interesting fact about yourself.
Oh, jeez.
You don't have to say a fact about yourself.
I'll be playing. I'm Deacon Smith. I'll be playing Rook, the halfling thief, and yeah.
Tyrion
That's all.
or Plaster.
Yes, Plaster Dragon here. I am playing Tyrion, the human cleric, and an interesting fact about me is that I am bald. Shocking!
That's really interesting, dude. I love it.
I'm setting the bar low for you, man.
Thank you.
All right, more cake.
I am Mark. I'll be playing the barbarian Harald Hellström. Fun fact: I am massively in depth in student loans. No, that's fun. Sorry. Fuck. I'm bad at this social thing. Moving on.
Yeah,
Recent help.
try to top that, Fork Puff.
So I'm Fork Puff, but I just go by Maddie. I'm playing the human bard Harrison Bradshaw. My interesting fact is I could probably sleep for like 24 hours and still be tired afterwards.
You get tired from sleeping, like
Yeah, I do.
it's like, oh, I slept too long. I'm tired.
Should sleep again.
And Terry.
My name is Terry. I'm a member of the Action Sturge. I am playing Aziz, the halfling druid. Yeah, I'm not that interesting, so.
That's your interesting fact. Because you're not interesting.
The best at this.
You just got played.
I like it. All right, cool. And then in the spirit of fairness, I will say one interesting fact about myself, and that is that I don't care if my socks match ever.
Well, it's true. As the person who does the laundry, he does not care.
All right, so let's go ahead and start off. Last time we left off, you guys had just got robbed of the bard I think got robbed of all his money, and
My one coin.
and you've just walked into the camp where the so-called bandit is hanging out with some of his people. You can see some torches lit. You can see the stones from the ruins kind of peeking out of the brush, and there's a you see this younger gentleman. He's probably like somewhere between 16 and 18, and he's talking to this to this older man. And when you guys sort of come out of the foliage, he looks over and his eyes grow wide, like, oh shit. And the man, the older man, also looks over, and he kind of bristles a little bit. It gets a little defensive. So who's the first one through the brush, and what do you do?
I can be the first one through the brush.
Okay.
I'm not timid. And we know we've been robbed, or we know Harrison has been robbed.
Yes.
You there! One of you has taken my small friend's coin. I would have it back.
The younger man is immediately going to look up at his father, and his father will oh well, his father, it's his father. He will step forward and he will say, "You come here laying accusations against my son?"
We have tracked the culprit here, yes.
Harold, do you still have an arrow in your leg? From when he shot you?
Might be short-circuiting.
I think he does, though.
Does the young lad have like a quiver on his back?
Yes.
And do the arrows match?
Give me. Oh, I don't even know if you'd have to roll for that. Let me. Yeah, they do. They do. It's a perfect match.
I will direct the old man. I'll point at his leg, and I'll point at the son's quiver, and I'll say, "Do you notice any similarities?"
So in the torchlight, you can see his father's face. Like he turns back, and like when he turns away, he has one expression of like doubt and contempt for you for accusing his son. When he turns back, he has a face full of fear and sorrow, and he says. I guess he'll turn back to his son and he'll say, Duncan, have you harmed these people? Have you committed an act of theft against them? And Duncan, he immediately begins to sort of tear up, and he says, Father, we needed money. And his father's like, not this way. And he's going to turn back to you, and he says, we have nothing to offer in recompense. How can we make this right?
Well, actually, our small, frail friend here was interested in exploring these here ruins. Could you act as a guide?
Huh? Who?
And
Man.
Nana will
Okay.
Nana will peek up and she'll say, "Hee hee, hi."
Now hold on a second. I want my coin back.
Yes, agreed.
And
While I am a protector of the downtrodden and will help you, as you seem an honorable man, we cannot allow this theft to stand. He must return the property he has taken.
And he agrees, and he turns to Duncan, and Duncan's just like, I dropped it in the woods.
Duncan? What the hell? You just go dropping money willy-nilly in the woods?
And his father says, well, then I suppose you better go find it.
Yeah, get looking, Duncan.
So Duncan is going to trudge back into the woods. He will. This man will introduce himself as Geraldo. I like Geraldo. And he will say, he will apologize profusely for his son's behavior. As for the offer to guide you through the ruins, he says that he's unable to do that because he is a visitor here himself. They don't know anything about the ruins.
Okay.
What?
Well, it was an idea.
Well, what can he tell us about these ruins? I mean, I know I don't know how long he's been staying here, if he's noticed anything odd or out of place.
Our leader has forbade us to tamper with them in any way.
Yeah, dude, my eyes get when he says leader. I'm like, whoop, big eyes.
He says he believes in elven curses.
Who is your leader?
He goes by the name of, and at this point you can see that like the other people in the camp, probably about 12 of them or so, maybe, yeah, probably about 12 of them, have sort of gathered around. It's not a lot of people, and they've sort of gathered around, and he says, our leader's name is, and he kind of looks around, and there's this like tension in the air as he's about to reveal who it is, and as if everybody's like kind of like don't do that. And just as sort of the tension sort of reaches its peak, you're going to hear this voice from behind everybody. He says, I guess I'm the leader. What do you make of it? And you see this haughty dwarf sort of pushing his way through the crowd of like 12 or so people. And what's your name?
Why, I'm Harrison. It's lovely to meet you.
And he says, and I'm Joffrey Dugan.
Well, Mr. Joffrey Dugan, it is my pleasure to make your acquaintance. I was perhaps curious as to know why you are here and why you choose to stay in these ruins.
He says, well, that sounds a bit like a story, and a story's nothing.
I love stories.
As do I, but my throat's a bit dry.
Then you'd best get something to drink before you tell it.
That's a good one, Tyrion.
And as is the custom of the land, if you want to hear a story, you'll have to present a drink.
Well, I don't know if you just heard, but you're just kind of robbed of everything we own. So I don't know exactly what you want. I might have a drop of my water skin of water left, but that's all I've got.
And he looks mildly disappointed. And he'll say, "Well, come have a sit down by the fire. You don't look dangerous enough." And he says that mostly to Harrison. What are the rest of you doing?
I nod in agreement.
Yeah, me too.
What? I can be fearsome and dangerous.
We're behind
But
you.
he's not alone. He's under our protection.
Nana is going to Nana's going to tug on Rook's sleeve.
Alright, what do you want?
And she points like so the dwarf is going off in one direction and she's pointing in the opposite direction to the ruins.
Which way is he pointing?
To the ruins. She says, can you escort me?
Me? No.
It's like helping an old lady cross the street and you just go, no.
I'm not your guide.
And she looks a little little miffed, but she'll start moving over to the ruins by herself.
I'll go with her.
Oh, now I feel bad.
Are we supposed to be escorting her to the ruins?
So I thought
Yes.
Geraldo was going to escort her or guide her.
I'm currently bleeding like a pig.
think you said he's currently bleeding like a pig. Harrison is his translator today.
You need healing. I can heal you.
What was that? Yes. Yes. He said yes.
And
Thank you, Harrison.
You're welcome, Harold. Anything for you, my friend.
Yeah, if Harold's here, Harold would have been her first choice. So she would have tugged on Harold's shoulder first or sleeve first. But she's gonna head over in that direction. So if you would like to accompany her, you can. I just need to know who's going with her and who's going with the dwarf.
I'll go with her.
Okay.
She said the magic word, guide.
Oh yes.
I'm in.
It's my trade.
I'll
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll follow.
Okay. What about Rook and Harrison? I guess Harrison's going with the dwarf, right?
Oh yes, I love stories.
Yeah, I'll follow Aziz.
Okay.
What?
And what
I
about
swear I showered, or bathed, or smell somewhat nice.
and what about Rook?
Mm.
Or sorry, I keep saying Rook because Plaster's in Rook's place right now.
What about Rook?
What
How
about
about Rook?
what about Tyrion?
Well, Harrison is in constant danger, and I must keep him safe. So I will be following Harrison.
Okay, cool. So so Nana will take Aziz and Rook over to the ruins, and she's gonna manifest that little mote of light that she had, and to illuminate the area, and she's basically just kind of like poking around, like it looks like she's taking note of the architecture, but more importantly, it looks like she's like really checking the foundation of this place, like trying to move, or having you guys like help her move brush out of the way, and like checking the floor, as if she's looking for something. She'll try to get the two of you to move some stones out of the way that have like fallen down and created some rubble, but it looks like she's looking for something specific. What do you guys? Yeah, what are you guys doing?
I'll ask her. What are you looking for?
She'll look a little embarrassed. She just says, "All the best ruins have trapdoors."
Oh. Is there anything I can do about that?
Perhaps there's something I can do.
Okay. What would you like to do, Rook?
Well, I was gonna try tricks of the trade, but I don't know if it applies here.
What about the trap one?
Well, yeah, I guess that would work. Yeah, that works.
Okay. I believe that is a roll. Okay. And what did you roll?
I rolled a 7.
Okay, so a 7. And what does that get you?
I can't read.
Oh, it's a hold 1. Okay, so you get 1 hold, and you can spend your hold as you walk through the area to ask these questions. Is there a trap here? And if so, what activates it? What does the trap do when activated? What else is hidden here?
Yeah. So I get 1 hold.
Yeah.
What else is hidden here?
And so you are able to when she says the thing about trapdoors, you're able to sort of like scan the area, and you kind of like this situation, this song and dance, like exactly, like if someone's gonna hide something behind a brick in the wall, you're usually pretty hip to like which brick it would be. So you just kind of like point, like scan the area and point, and lo and behold, you guys go over and clear some of the brush out of the way, and there is this circular, very ornate like wooden manhole essentially, and it's even despite its age, or its supposed age, it's actually in excellent condition, and that is what you find. Nana is so excited. She says, go ahead, pick it up.
I will attempt to pick it up.
Okay.
I will assist.
All right. It is quite. It's not very heavy, but it's just kind of bulky. It's like an odd thing to like hold by yourself. So you guys like lift it up. This it's gonna sound like a release. Like there's gonna be a release of air, and it's kind of like psh, and you're gonna feel this like musty breeze kind of shoot up in your faces, and she's going to immediately look over the edge of the hole and say, "Ha, perfect." Now, the dwarf is taking Harrison over to a small fire. There's like a pot on the fire. It's got some very thin looking soup, and some of the people from the camp will follow you and sort of gather around. And he says, "Well, have a seat, why don't you?"
Yeah, and I'll take
Can I also heal Harold while we're doing this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cast a spell.
Best tend to the wounded.
They could sit on a little stump I'm imagining they have.
Now you can't tell me little Duncan did all that.
That one, apparently so.
No, remember the guard from the caravan? Or are you just not mentioning that?
I'm not mentioning that.
And he says, he lets out a string of colorful expletives as he says, and then he says, perhaps we'll make a soldier of him after all. And he says, get yourself a bowl of soup. I won't let anyone say that I haven't been hospitable.
And I'll like take one look at the soup, and I'll just be like, I'll look over at Tyrion. Yeah, go ahead, Tyrion.
I would never refuse hospitality. Quick question: can I cast a spell without my holy symbol?
Yes, I'll say yeah.
In that case, Harold, when you return, you will get 4 hit points back. Because my spellcasting roll was successful.
Oh, very nice. Very successful.
Very successful. As successful as I... Well, not as successful as I could be, but pretty good.
So he says, oh yes, the Joffrey Dugan will compliment you on your apparel, Harrison. He says, quite colorful for being out in the woods.
Real quick, I just want to relay. I told Morecake he could like message me whatever he wants to say, and he said he's loving every piece of HP. But yes, actually not quite from the area at all. I'm actually from Happy Tree.
At this, everybody kind of like there's like an electricity that goes through the crowd. Like everybody is kind of like, and everybody kind of leans in a little bit further and like very attentive. And Joffrey doesn't seem to care whatsoever. He discovers a small flask hidden in his boot, and he's going to take it out, twist the cap off, and give it a sniff, and recoil slightly, but not unpleasantly, and take a swig, and he's going to hand it to you, Harrison. And he says, "You're a long way from home. Best have a drink."
Sure, why not? And I will take a sip.
Okay. It's very sweet, but very strong. Like it burns.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll be like, ooh, that's quite. Oh. That's.
He'll motion
What?
for you to. He'll motion for you to pass it on to Tyrion, and he'll say, "And what brings you out to my land?"
Well, we were traveling with the caravan. We're here. Who's the person? Were we escorting?
Riker.
I can't remember his name. Riker. Yeah. We're here escorting a Mr. Riker fellow. I don't know. I really got dragged along. I'm just here to get paid.
And he says, so you're a caravan guard. You don't look like much of a guard to me. Him, on the other hand," and he looks at Tyrion, he's kind of, he's kind of eyeing your equipment, like your like the craftsmanship of it, and you can tell it's like he doesn't hide anything on his face. He's obviously a little dismayed by it, but he still says, "He looks like a guard. So what are you doing? What exactly do you do?" Harrison.
Oh, you're talking to me.
Mhm.
I was no, don't get it wrong. Don't get it wrong. I can still fight plenty. Now I put up my hands like this, and I go at the little stump I'm sitting on. I'm bam, 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 bam.
He gives a hearty laugh and takes the bottle, or takes the flask back and gives another swig, and he says, "Well, you're scrappy, I'll give you that." He says, "But it's a good thing you hang out with this one. And as for me, my story, well, we all come from a town little ways away from here called Turnip.
Turnip.
Turnip Town."
Let me guess. Your staple crop is sweet potato.
He says, "Well, you're not very bright, but you are funny, aren't you?" And
I'd be a lot funnier if I had my lute.
You play music.
Oh, I am a bard. Haven't you heard of me, Harrison Bradshaw, bard extraordinaire?
He says, "It doesn't come to mind, but I'm sure one day perhaps I will."
I just released a new hit single for a beautiful and daring woman called Hera. It goes like this. Hera!
And he waves away. He waves his hand, and he says, that song's for. And then he releases another string of colorful dwarven expletives. And he says, "Don't you know any good dwarven songs?"
Well, I can't say I'm quite well equipped in the dwarven tongue, but if you were to teach me a round or two and gave me an instrument, I'm sure I could play for you.
Oh, you don't need an instrument. You just need your voice. And he'll start belting out a dwarvish tune and expect you to follow along. Meanwhile...
What if...
Oh, go ahead.
What if it was... I know Mortcake was trying to teach me the Swedish alphabet. What if it's something like that? But a lot more, it's probably more like, ooh.
Yeah, it's like a very low rumble, like when the dwarf sings. It's almost like it's like a rumbling earthquake. Like it's very
Well,
low and.
see, I'm the soprano here. He can be the alto. We'll harmonize.
Yes, very gravelly, and then but he has quite a range, and he is quite a good singer.
Right on.
But you guys can sing for a moment. Meanwhile, back at the ruins, Nana has wasted no time. She is there is a like a ladder, but it has like it's like little handholds that are kind of in the stone, and she's going to waste no time to scurry down them. Now I don't think you guys have seen her in her true form, so like her nimbleness and her agility might be a little bit of a surprise to you. She scurries down those little handholds pretty fast.
Okay, I'll
But-
follow.
I will reluctantly follow.
And
Watching her back.
when you reach the bottom, there's like this little alcove, and then it opens out into this larger room, and it's some ways underground, and probably it's probably about 40. You probably went down about 40 feet, and there's this opened domed room underground, supported by these like very decorative stone pillars, and there appears to be one room, or like one door straight ahead. It's like a very large ornate wooden door, very much like the one that with the manhole. And then off to the left side of the room, there's a like another archway that goes, a smaller door that goes somewhere else. Nana will expand the light and sort of toss it up into the middle of the room so that the whole room will be illuminated, and she will begin to she'll go to bolt across the room, but then she'll stop herself and she'll turn to the trap expert and she'll say, "Is it safe?"
How the hell am I supposed to know? Oh, you want me to say?
And she just shrugs and she says, "Ah, you look like the type."
Ooh.
Nobby and all that.
Would it be tricks of the trade or trap expert?
Well, if you're surveying a dangerous area, it would be trap expert.
Okay. Ooh, mark experience.
Yes, mark experience. And
Yep, it's clear.
so up above at the campfire, so you guys are singing, like, see, this is the third time you've gone through this dwarven drinking song, and you're starting to get the hang of it, and you're hearing the earthy rumble of the dwarf's deep bass, and but you hear something else too. It's almost as though his voice is shaking the ground around you, in some small way. There's a disturbance in the ground, and it catches him by surprise too, and he's going to stop singing, but the rumble will continue. Something is rumbling the ground, and he's going to stand straight up, and he says, "Where's the rest of your friends? They best not be mucking about in them ruins."
I think it's safe to say that's exactly where they are.
I'm not responsible for them. They're typically responsible for me.
That's a fair statement.
So he's going to release another colorful string of dwarven expletives and start rushing towards the ruins. Geraldo will start to follow him, and he'll say, he'll say, "No, you go see to Duncan," and
Don't talk to Duncan. can't stand him.
and the dwarf will head towards the ruins. What will Tyrion
Immediately following to the ruins. Absolutely, 100%.
and what will Harold do?
Harold or Harrison?
Harold, if he's here, if he can hear me.
Or can relay the message.
Yeah, and Harrison. Yeah, I want to know what you all do.
I mean, I'll go to where I last saw Duncan. I do feel kind of bad. Oh, wait, he said something. He said, rush along to the ruins.
All right. So Harrison will split off and go with Geraldo to check on Duncan. Tyrion and Harold will go to the ruins with the dwarf, with Joffrey Dugan.
Can I ask a quick question real quick?
What's up?
Have I yet spouted lore about this area?
I think.
Or is it not something I can do for this area?
I think you have sort of generally about elvish ruins. Like, you know that they're dangerous, and I think you and Aziz conspired to create some fiction for that. But generally, you know that they're dangerous. They're usually the site of some very precious valuables, lost artifacts of ages past. But they are haunted by these shadowy wraiths, or whispering wraiths they are called, and they basically like make people go crazy, kind of.
And can I follow that up with, so I know he mentioned the town of Turnip.
Yes.
Can I spot lore about that?
Absolutely.
Okay, let me see what I get here. I got 10. On a 10 plus, the GM will tell you something interesting and useful about the subject relevant to your situation. So I just wanted to know, so why would he's from Turnip. Why is he here? What is there something that happened in Turnip?
It was recently acquired under the territory of the Crimson Blades, and it would be no surprise to you if they are actually fleeing from their home to evade the Crimson Blades.
Oh, okay.
And maybe trying to make it out of Crimson Blade territory.
Okay. I was just wondering because, I mean, he seems like such a headstrong leader and like he could take on a couple people, but
yeah, there's something weird about number one, about just a dwarf being around at all. Dwarves aren't very common in the land either, but it's also kind of weird that these kind of like village yokels would be treating him with so much respect, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. That's all I wanted to know. I'll go ahead and then follow Geraldo to help out with Duncan.
Okay.
Since they probably don't need me in the ruins anymore.
So Geraldo is going to.
I just want to ask if you can hear me decently.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Harold, we can.
Thank Christ.
Oh my God, I've missed you.
And now he's frozen again.
And he's gone. Oh no, he's back. Maybe. All right. So yes, Geraldo.
Yeah, I noticed too.
Well, as long as we can hear you, and we have a still of your wonderful face up there. So, maybe I'll get to Geraldo here in a second. Let's go back down beneath. You guys down where you are probably can't feel the rumble or anything like that. So, so you look around. Rook, you look around. The place checks out. It doesn't look like surprisingly, it doesn't look like there's any traps, or at least there's no traps that you can see. it could just mean that you need more time to sort of look around, or it could mean that that if there are traps here, they're not of a nature that you're normally familiar with. So so based on that information, you can give whatever response Rook would give in answer to her question.
The area is clear.
And she nods and she says, "Perfect. Will one of you accompany me to the smaller door?"
I'll go.
And then she'll turn back to Rook and she'll say, "Please stay here and keep an eye on that big door in case something terrible comes out of it. You need to scurry back up the ladder to go get help."
Sure.
And she'll take you over to the smaller door, Aziz, and it's this heavily decorated, like beautiful wooden door. It almost looks like these like leafy vines are kind of carved into it, and they almost breathe with life. Like they almost look lifelike. So beautiful is the carving, and she's going to say. She's going to see, "Notice how there's no handles on the door. How do you think it opens?"
You push it?
Well, simple enough, I suppose. Shall we?
Go right ahead.
So she will step forward and she'll give it a good oomph, and nothing will happen. She kind of steps back and she kind of rubs her chin and she says, perhaps it's voice activated. My ancient Elvish is rusty. What about yours?"
I don't even know current Elvish.
And she turns back to the thief. She says, "I don't suppose you would."
No, I'm sorry. On my.
And she says, "Well, I suppose we'll be here a minute then." And she'll start rattling off these words that almost sound like songs. And actually, Aziz, you recognize sort of the tone of the voice, because or some of the like you don't know the language, but you recognize it because you've heard it just recently, from that moon elf in the caravan. She was speaking what she's trying to speak right now. And so it just sounds like she's rattling off a couple words. She's kind of clumsily kind of like sounding them out, and and she says, finally she's gonna say, "Well, I guess that's a bust. What about this other door?" And she's going to go over to the big door. At this point, all three of you down there might hear the loud sounds of dwarvish cursing coming down the ladder. Tyrion and Harold will be in tow as well, and this little dwarf will pop out of the alcove, and he'll say, "You shouldn't be messing down here with these ruins. Elvish curses, old traps, and all that."
Where did you come from?
"Well, where do you think I came from? Up there. I assume the same way you came down."
You might make some noise.
And behind him, Tyrion and Harold will enter as well.
Apparently, we followed the way you came down.
Well, all of that aside, we need to get topside right this instant. We need to get out of here. Stop messing with these things. And he's going to go over to Nana, and he says, "Don't touch that door. Who knows what's behind it? Who knows what you're waking up?
Well, we won't till we open the door.
And he says, that's the point. If you want to...
Did we all feel the rumbling when we were up top?
You all felt it, yeah. But you guys didn't feel anything down here.
Didn't you feel that rumbling down here?
Nope, didn't feel a thing.
Doesn't matter if you felt it or not.
Crap.
These things are not meant to be messed with. He says, he says, the ancient elves are gone for a reason. I don't want to find out what it was.
There's strange magic down here.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Now, if I gotta knock each and every one of you out and carry you out myself, I will. Or you can go the easy way.
There's one way to settle this. I shall ask my god which way we should go.
And he kind of rolls his eyes and he says, "Oh, great, the new gods."
What do you mean, new gods?
And he says, "Just how old do you think I am?"
Well, how about we talk about my gods then? And I asked them.
He said, "Gods or no, nothing's gonna help you. Best we leave at once."
My god has already helped me heal my friend's leg.
That is very true.
And at this point, Geraldo and Harrison are heading towards the tree line, and Geraldo's he's kind of not shouting out loud, but he's like Duncan, can you hear me, boy?
Duncan, come on, Duncan. Not that beat up about one single. I am a little bit, but I can forgive you.
You guys can still feel the earth rumbling slightly, and something is going to be moving in the woods. Something is moving towards you out of the woods. Geraldo is like, "Duncan, is that you? Come on."
You better hope for our sake that is Duncan.
Come on, boy. And something is going to come out of the woods, but it's not a Duncan. It's this...
For cinematic purposes, I'm going to say, wait, where's Harrison?
Every single time.
Yeah, like they're doing a head count, like...
Damn it.
So something's going to come out of the woods. It's not a Duncan. It's this small, green, knobby looking thing, with these like...
Oh my god, Rook!
with these big angry eyes and these like pointed, almost exaggerated like elf ears, and he's going to sort of like creep out of the woods, and you can see that he's got a shoddy little knife, and maybe some like cloth, like sack cloth that he's wearing, and he's gonna come out and look at both of you, and Geraldo's like, what is that?
I don't know. We could always ask it. Hello, what are you?
And then it's gonna smile from ear to ear with these like sharp uneven teeth, and he's going to spring towards you, Harrison, with his little knife.
Jesus criminy, you look like you just came out of Tickle Pink.
What do you do? He's rushing towards you to stab you.
Oh, he's coming at me. Okay.
Yeah.
I am going to... I guess I'm going to defy danger.
Okay.
As much as I'd like to be charismatic about it.
And once I realize that Harrison is not with us, I go running up and out because
All right. And you'll be there momentarily.
I follow him as well, but I'm also commenting, how can you ever find it without playing his goddamn loot?
I guess I'm going to defy danger. I'd like to do it with quick thinking. I'd like to take out my short sword and just kind of fight him back off with it.
Okay. So so go ahead and roll quick thinking.
An 8. So I stumble, hesitate, or flinch, and the GM will offer me a worse outcome, hard bargain, or ugly choice.
Okay, so so you'll pull out your blade to sort of deflect him, and so he'll come at you. He'll hit his point against your blade. It's with surprising force, and you're going to it's going to sort of ring out through your hands, almost painfully. Not painful enough to hurt you, but it'll make you drop the blade. And Geraldo is going to sort of reach up behind it and try to restrain the thing from behind. Harrison, when you look up though, you can see that 3 more of these things have emerged from the woods and are now coming up behind Geraldo.
Geraldo, drop the tiny green man and let's get back to camp. He has reinforcements from Tickle Pig.
And as you say that, he's gonna kind of look back. He'll throw back he'll pick up the little goblin and he'll throw him back at the others. They'll make space for him as he hits the ground, and then they'll start running after you and Geraldo. Geraldo's going to grab you by the arm, Harrison, and run. And but he's gonna look at you and you see fear in his eyes, and he says, "What about Duncan?"
When we have big meaty guys here with us, we can go and look for Duncan. I can't handle 4 of these green little puke baby brats. And you sure as hell can't either.
And so he's going to run with you. Now, Aziz and Rook, are you guys still staying down below, or did you come up with Rook with Tyrion and Harold?
No, I'm still down there. I'm pretty much fascinated with what she's doing.
Yeah, what is Nana doing?
She's basically just arguing with the dwarf about what to do about the ruins. So because he's telling her that she's got to leave, and she's calling him out on a bunch of superstitious nonsense, and there might be magic down here, but it's not magic that's going to end the world, and better for whatever's down here be in her hands than in somebody else's. And so they're basically just arguing.
I can imagine, how when a toddler doesn't want to leave somewhere, they'll hold on to something. I can imagine her holding onto a pillar, and he's trying to pull her off. Come on, let's go. She's like, no, I'm not leaving.
Yes, exactly.
I think I'm gonna follow Harold. As Rook said, there's no traps down here, so I don't think she's in danger down here.
Famous last words.
Yeah.
What about Rook?
But Harrison is more than likely in danger. So.
What about Rook?
Oh, I go up the ladder.
Okay.
I'm merged on top.
We'll let Joffrey argue with Nana for a while.
And
if there is something dangerous down here, I don't want to face it without the whole group. So
Aziz and Rook, you're some paces behind Harold and Tyrion. Now Harold and Tyrion, when you come back out on the up top on the ruins, you can hear some screaming.
run in the direction of the screaming because that's always where Harrison is.
And it
Yep.
seems to be coming towards you, so that's good. In the torchlight of the camp that has been set up here, you can see that Harrison and Geraldo are being followed by now 8 of these goblins, and
God.
Yeah, they just seem to be like running after them with their arms up, and they're like ah, and they've got like little knives, and yes, that is what you see.
As I'm running, I'll shout, "Back, foul goblins!" as loud as I can, so maybe it'll bellow down into the ruins as well, and Joffrey might hear it.
Okay.
I'm going to pull up my sleeve and kind of like slap my underarm a little bit, like, "Here's some free meat! Come at me!" And I'm like, "What are you waiting for?" on the goblins.
Okay. Go ahead and roll it. Okay, there you go. Nice.
So only the weaker ones of them would. The weakest or the most foolhardy will fall prey to my taunting.
We'll go foolhardy. There's one goblin in particular. He's pretty buff for a goblin. He's not like he doesn't have this like thin wiry muscle. He's actually pretty stout and slightly barrel chested, and he's going to he's handling like 2 daggers. Or like 2 little knives, and he's going to start sort of cutting the air in front of him as he like leaps towards Harold. And then Rook and oh yeah. Well, and then the other ones are chasing Harrison and Geraldo. So you were able to peel off one of them, Harold. Tyrion, did you want to do anything else? Tyrion.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said Harold.
Oh.
I was looking at my moves. I'm ready. I'm like, as I'm running toward them, I'm readying my quarterstaff.
Okay.
To, I suppose, attack or defend, as the case may be. I'm basically moving toward Harrison to get myself between Harrison and Geraldo and the goblins, and then I will defend them from whatever is coming.
Okay. So, perfect. Oh my goodness. So yeah, so you can defend them if you like.
Yes.
You will roll Constitution, and then you can use that to protect them.
That's what I will do then.
Okay.
I'll basically be the wall as our heavy hitters move up to do some other devastation. And then once I know they're safe, I will either go heal someone or I will continue the devastation.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for defend.
All right.
Ooh, 9 is good. So you get 1 hold. So long as you stand in defense. When you or the thing you defend is attacked, you may spend hold. 1 for 1 to choose an option. So you can redirect the attack to you, which I think is probably what you want to do, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're basically standing in the way. You've got your quarterstaff, and now let's see, 1 was peeled off, so now 7 goblins are kind of like jumping and dancing around you, and they're all like it's like death by tiny little cuts, but they're all gonna be trying to get at you. And you have a quarterstaff, so you can maybe like keep them sort of at bay, but at this point, are you are you trying to evade their attacks, or are you trying to like actually do some damage to them? Are you on the offensive, or are you still like sort of on the defensive?
I'm primarily keeping them from, getting to Harrison and Geraldo. But if I can get in a swipe, I'll absolutely take it. But priority is keeping them off of the other two,
Okay.
because I know that I have Aziz and Harold behind me, so
Okay.
protection small.
Well, let's just roll a defy danger, and you can use strength or constitution for this.
Let's use con.
Okay. Nice. Yeah. So you're able to so they're like all around you, and you're totally keeping them all at bay with your staff.
Nice.
And let's see, Rook and Aziz. You guys pop out of the lower dungeons, and you pop up onto the ruins. You can hear fighting. You can hear Harrison scream. And what do you guys do?
Head in that direction.
I head in that direction, but I try to find some, stone or some shrubs or something to hide in.
Okay, so you want to sneakily kind of approach the situation. Maybe an ambush from behind, like where you can sort of like pick off one of the stragglers or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so Aziz will kind of
plan.
go straight forward, and then Rook will kind of disappear into the bushes like he do. Aziz, when you get there, you're sort of raised up on the ruins. You can see down below that Tyrion is fending off like 7 goblins while Harold's fighting 1, and then Harrison, what are you doing back there?
If I may, I would like to perform an arcane art.
Okay, how will you do that?
So when you weave a performance into a basic spell, choose an ally and an effect. I would like to give Harold plus 1d4 to damage on his next attack if I'm able to.
Okay.
Nice, with a 12.
Wow.
So with the d4, he'll get to add 4 to his next damage roll that he makes against the goblin.
Nice. Okay, so
I incorporate the bit of like dwarven sing song that Joffrey taught me.
very nice.
And two, it'll be like ooh ah ooh 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 wah, ooh.
And okay, so that's what you walk up on, Aziz. is that display of is that scenario? What are you doing?
Speed. Sorry, I'm taking off full speed towards the circle of goblins
Okay.
and attempting to shapeshift into a rhino.
Ooh,
Oh my
very
God.
nice. Okay, go.
Jesus.
Let's see that shapeshift.
Ah!
Hey, you got an experience point.
You're
That's a beefy 6.
a funny looking rhino.
So basically, what's gonna happen is you turn into the rhino, but just as you do, it's like you run past like this large like stone from the foundation of this ruin, and as you pass the stone, we see what's behind the stone, and it's a giant. And the giant is basically just going to take one fist and just knock you off into the woods somewhere. And shedding off of this giant are more goblins. There's like 10 more goblins like shedding off of this giant. And and Rook, that's also, if you're sneaking back behind Rook, that's also what you're seeing is these is this giant. You see this rhino fly off into the woods, And now all of you can see that there's this this giant that has emerged from the woods, with like just shedding goblins.
Oh.
What do you
All
all?
of a sudden, the bushes start shaking.
What do you all do?
I don't emerge.
I smile.
Hmm.
I would like to speak with the giant.
Okay.
Do I know if they're able to understand just common tongue?
I'm not sure what you know about giants. Go ahead and spout some
Final
more.
lore?
Yeah.
Spout some lore. Let's see here. What do I know? I know something interesting. It's on me to make it useful.
You know that giants in this land, in the Borderlands, are usually fall under the rule and authority of Tum Tum the Unbreakable. So seeing one here is usually a sign that Tum Tum has they don't usually act of their own accord in this land. They are usually under the instruction of Tum Tum.
So, I have the dumbest, but it might just work idea. I would like to ask the giant to fend off your men, goblin. I have news of great treasure that you can take back to Tum Tum the Unbreakable.
Defy danger with charm.
I can try. Oh.
So you didn't really, because it's dark. So like a third of the giant just disappears into darkness like the farther you look up. But suddenly there's this bright light that comes from the giant's shoulder, and it looks to be some spell being cast, perhaps a fiery spell, and that fire is going to emit from the giant's shoulder and come right towards Harrison.
Okay.
This is going to do some damage.
Okay. Understandable.
Unless somebody wants to interject. If somebody's able to. I don't know if anybody's actually able to. You're all pretty occupied, so let's see.
I'm trying to think what I could even interject. I'm like looking at my.
So this will be six fire damage as you hear this, and maybe as it illuminates too, you can see that there is another goblin that has stayed on the giant's shoulder, and he's got piercings in his ear, and he's got these arcane looking tattoos across his face, and one golden.
Does that say it ignores armor?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. After I take that, I will stand myself back off, dust myself, and I will continue my statement as said before. There is an extremely rare coin that has been lost in the woods.
So as you're dusting yourself off, Harold, what are you doing?
I'm standing, looking gleefully at this giant. I take up my dagger and I just stab the goblin in the head while just keeping eye contact with the giant.
Give me a hack and slash. Ooh,
Oh,
beautiful.
awesome.
Roll that damage, and you get a +4 on it too, on the damage.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd like to, as it's a 10 plus, I would like to take an extra d6 on that, and the goblin can do damage to me as well.
Okay.
So that is a thing I can do, which is pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Math might be right here. Let's see.
Dang.
Wow. So I think what happens is, how do you? So you just like stab him in the head, or like how do you kill
Yeah,
him?
you stab him right in the forehead with the dagger. You just plunge it in there, and I'm just looking at the giant.
I think what probably happened is the handle of your dagger got covered in like slippery oil, like goblin blood, and maybe just slid up a little too far, and so you just cut yourself on the hand. Like I don't think the goblin actually did anything. Yeah. So you can just toss him aside, and then what do you do?
I start running for a giant. I'm gonna climb up his fucking legs.
Oh, beautiful. So you run towards the giant. Now, like he's shedding goblins off of him, so you're gonna have to sort of make your way through those. How are you gonna make your way through them to get directly to him?
I'm bull rushing.
Okay.
I'm just incredible force.
Okay. It sounds like a defy danger with strength to me.
You got it. Oof. Now that is an XP.
That is some XP. And did you you're pursuing one of your things too, so if you want to re-roll one of those with a D8.
That is true. I have to do that manually, I think.
Yeah.
So let's re-roll that, I guess.
Okay.
At least one of them.
I missed that last week. So when you get a 6 or lower, you get XP?
Yes. You get XP for failing.
Oh, that's fun.
Isn't that nice?
John, how do you want to do this? Do you want me to just re-roll the whole thing, or just go with the failure?
Go with the re-roll the 1.
Re-roll the 1?
Remy
Okay.
agrees.
Yeah, I was just say, what the heck?
So that makes that a 10, I believe, at least.
Yeah,
Not
nice.
12.
Completely changes the situation. I'll take back the XP.
So do you want to describe how you're like just powering through these things towards the giant?
Yeah. The last goblin hasn't actually released from my dagger, still on there. So I'm kind of just like holding him in front of me, like bashing away goblins with my
You hear like these cries of like boom, wah, boom, wah, boom, wah, as you head towards the giant. Lovely. Aziz, you landed somewhere. Where did you land?
I imagine I'd probably just bounced off a tree.
And then as soon as you hit the ground, I believe, as soon as you hit the ground, the first thing you're gonna see the first thing you're gonna hear is Duncan's voice saying, oh, Rhino?
I'm gonna nod.
And and you have the gem eyes, right? Like those never change,
Yeah.
right? So he's gonna look at the eyes and he's gonna say, "Oh, you're Aziz. How did you?"
Nah.
Oh no, but he remembers. Yes, so then he dawns on him. He's like, because he remembers the cheetah, and he's gonna like sort of back up real quick, and he's gonna say, he's gonna say, there's a giant out there.
Mm-hmm. And then I'm gonna like paw my foot like I'm getting ready to charge.
He's gonna say, wait, I can't stay here and do nothing. Let me come with you.
Okay. I'll kind of kneel down a little bit.
Yeah, he's like, I owe this to them, for the coin. So he's gonna climb up. He's gonna kind of flop up on top of you and try to find his footing. Meanwhile, he's gonna try to like hold on and as you charge out of the wood. Now, who haven't we checked in with in a minute?
Tyrion and Rook.
Tyrion and Rook. What's going on with you guys?
How many goblins? Oh, go ahead, Rook.
Do what?
Uh,
Yeah, I'm still hiding until they get close.
Okay. So basically, you're kind of on the sidelines here, and then there's let's see, we're one goblin down. We've got I think like 18 more to go. I think. So there's like 18 goblins swarming the field, and oops, got some feedback. Okay.
Sounds like a Geiger counter. Are you radioactive?
Yes. No, I think it was Terry's.
Yeah, my headset came up.
Okay. So, where was I? Oh, goblins are swarming everywhere. There's a giant now. Some of the goblins are being like tossed aside by Harold, so he's probably dealing with some of them. And maybe one of those goblins will sort of fly over near the bushes and kind of land on the ground in front of you, Rook. What do you do?
I will pop out and cut its throat.
Okay. So.
That will be. I'm gonna try. That sounds like backstab.
Yes.
All right.
Now I don't know if you. Okay. Yeah.
It
Okay.
don't matter.
What'd you roll?
Oh,
6. Let's see your attack. Well, so what backstab says is that when you attack a surprised or defenseless enemy with a melee weapon, you can choose to deal your damage or roll dex, depending on what you want to do. So if you just wanted to deal damage, you can just deal damage, or you can roll dex to get one of those effects.
Yeah, but I rolled 6.
Okay, so take your take your experience point, and then what's gonna happen is what should happen? I'm not quite sure. I'll sit on that for a second. So you're gonna, but something's gonna happen. Oh, maybe you go to maybe you go to do it to take your stab, but Harold's gonna knock another goblin over in that direction, and it's gonna fly and hit you and knock you back into the bushes and sort of land on top of you. now you're entangled with this goblin, who's just kind of lashing out blindly because it knows it's entangled with somebody else. Tyrion, what are you up to?
So I still have a bunch of goblins on me, right?
Yes.
And Harrison is behind me still, but
yes.
A little bit on fire.
Yeah, yes.
A little smoldered.
All right. I could try to let's see. I did the defy danger last time. Or what was the other one I did? I did defy danger and defend.
Yes, you defended Harrison, and then you were keeping all these goblins at bay.
All right. So, I mean, I suppose I can just keep defending. Or the defy danger is helping keep them at bay, right?
Yes, at the moment.
So, I could try and just take a swipe at one and then keep defying danger to keep them at bay.
It just depends on how the situation changes. What's your overall goal, do you think?
My overall goal is still to keep them off of Harrison and Geraldo, who's probably still somewhere behind, unless Geraldo. And I'll just tell Geraldo, go and rally the others.
And
And
but if you
get Joffrey out of that damn hole.
well, yeah. So if you're tangoing with these guys, if you want to take a moment to hit one, you can totally hack and slash if you like, or whatever attack thing you have.
Yeah, I have hack and slash.
Okay, go ahead and you can totally do that.
Gives that a go.
All right. So on a 7, you deal your damage to the enemy, and the enemy makes an attack against you as well.
That's fine. And my damage, I think, is a D6. That was so worth it. Do I add my strength to that or no?
No, it's just the
Okay.
It's just the die roll. Unless you get like a thing later on that tells you you can add stuff to it.
Then yep. I did a 1 point of damage and went back into my defensive. Woo.
And so unfortunately, like your staff like cracks on his like very hard skull, and it doesn't seem to phase him whatsoever. And
Another reason I hate goblins.
And while that's
They have very thick skulls.
like while you break your defensive formation momentarily to take that attack, one of the other goblins is going to sort of like take that opportunity to break through and deal some damage as well. So there's 8 of them there, right? So don't freak out. I'm gonna roll 8d6, but
Don't freak out. 8d6.
But I'm only gonna use one of the rolls. So.
Freak out! I'm just gonna fireball.
So one of them will take that opportunity where you went to attack the one, and he's gonna like sort of sneak up and shank you in the leg for 6 damage.
All right, I have an armor of 1. Does that mean I reduce it by 1? Or...
Yes. Yeah, it's a flat reduction. So.
Very good.
And
I spit at him.
Oh, very nice. So he doesn't. He kind of likes it. Now Harrison, you see Tyrion getting stabbed. You see Harold charging through these goblins, hitting goblins with another goblin, heading towards the giant. You probably can hear this trampling movement behind you, perhaps. And what do you do?
So the giant did not take to my treasure of a rare coin in the woods?
It did not appear so.
Can I use my starting move, Charming and Open, with it?
Okay.
When I speak frankly with someone, you can ask their player a question from the list below. They must answer it truthfully, and then they may ask you a question from the list, which I must answer truthfully.
I'm gonna say you can, but you're gonna have to get closer to it. So you're gonna have to like move and sort of hop up on the ruins, and then like sort of climb the rubble to get closer to the shoulder of the giant.
Yeah, sure, I'll do that.
And doing that's going to be a little bit dangerous because you're basically moving around a bunch of goblins, some of which are like flying overhead and like landing in like spots near you, perhaps. So how will you navigate this dangerous scenario? Also, the rubble's kind of shaky.
I suppose I will defy danger with dexterity. It seems to make the most sense.
Okay, because it's raining goblins. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So use your.
I stumble, hesitate, or flinch. The GM will offer you a worse outcome, hard bargain, or ugly choice.
That's a 7. So yes. So.
I have nothing else I could possibly lose. So.
So you're moving around, and actually you're kind of moving up the rubble. You're gonna slip, and you're gonna sort of fall back, and you're gonna get into this precarious position where you're sort of like teetering back off the rubble, like either you're gonna like slide down or fall off and like into the brush below, as you're so you're just kind of in this dangerous position of imbalance, and one of the goblins that has like landed near you is sort of picking himself up. He's gonna see that you're in this like precarious situation, and he's going to to run over to you. What will you do, Harrison?
So I'm there.
You're kind of like hanging off the side of the rubble, imbalanced, and there's a little goblin sort of like running towards you.
Can I pull myself up the rest of the way and still get to do my starting move, even at the risk of the goblin still coming at me?
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah, so I'll pull myself up, and I will come eye level or whatever level to the giant so he can hear me. And very charmingly and openly, I will ask him, "How can I get you to leave?"
So, let's see what the
We are all level 1. We cannot take on 18 goblins and a giant. I'm sorry.
19 damage to a goblin.
One goblin of the 18. Harold?
Yeah, if you could like do a sweep move and hit like 5 of them.
Right. Yeah, there we go.
Advanced move, I believe.
Well, it kind of has been. He's been distributing goblins equally to everybody else. So you can ask their question.
If we just kill the giant, it will fall over and kill the goblins.
Okay, so the giant will not answer you, but the magic slinging goblin on his shoulder will. And he says, "Well, that's easy. Just give us what we want."
And what exactly is that?
Whatever you're digging up out of there. And he points to the ruins.
I get like this like shit-eating grin on my face. Like I'm like, sure, you can go down into the ruins. Help yourself.
He says, I want what you take out of it. Now let me ask you something, little bard.
I'm not little. Am I really that small? Anyway.
All in favor of Harrison is small, say I.
He says, are you traveling with one by the name of Rook?
Is it pronounced wrong?
No.
Rook or reek? There's a lot of vowels. They get kind of yes. Hard to say where he is, though. He kind of looks like one of the little goblins running around.
They are all very knobby, aren't they?
Although technically, I think I have to ask you a question from the list too.
Probably.
Right. So.
You want me to read them to you?
No, I can see them. Let's see what would be a good. Oh, and of course the train's going by. So yay.
Yeah. Train.
So maybe he won't ask you about Rook. Instead, maybe he will. He'll say, "Now, how can I get you to go get it for me?"
Lay off your siege.
And
eat all the goblins.
now at this point, Aziz, what's going on?
At this point in time, I was going to charge and try to break up the circle around Tyrion and the others.
Okay. So I think you roll a 6. I don't think you have any or any hold. You can still be a
I have
rhino.
one hold.
Oh, you have one hold. Okay, yeah. So you have one
Yes.
hold. All right, cool.
Which I was to run up the circle and use my one hold to, where is it? Trample
Okay.
is a move that I get, which will drop me out of form.
But you'll get to do your trampling thing.
Yes,
So
and Duncan will be reunited with his pappy.
His pappy.
So he will so you'll come in and you'll just start trampling goblins. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay. And I don't know if Duncan wanted to take a shot on our way in.
It's a miracle he hasn't fallen off yet.
Understood.
I think he's still like flopped over on his belly, like holding on for dear life.
Oh wait, that was an attack. Sorry, you wanted damage.
Yeah.
It's just 5.
All right, so you'll definitely squish one of the goblins. The other goblins will kind of like fall and try to scramble away, and they just sort of disperse away for a moment. And Tyrion, you now have a rhino in front of you, and Duncan's gonna slide off, and he takes him a moment to kind of get his bearings straight, and he's going to What's Aziz laughing about?
Plastered was playing with his dog.
Yeah,
okay.
It was really
Ball over his
funny.
shoulder.
And he caught it.
He just brought me this rubber cupcake, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this? So I just flicked it over my shoulder. He just jumped up and snagged it.
Yeah, it was really funny.
Yoink. All right.
Oh, good Titan. Remy's like passed out on the floor,
Meanwhile, our lazy dog. Yeah.
So
Just part of the show. He was just sleeping on the floor behind me, but now he's going mental.
So he's going to dismount, and he's going to do pull an arrow, draw an arrow, and fire it at one of the goblins who is going towards Harold. So Harold, like one of these goblins, you're swinging your goblin, and another goblin's coming at you, and it's suddenly going to get an arrow to it, and it's going to sort of fly off the warpath. Aziz and Tyrion, do you guys have anything to say to each other?
Matt.
Not particularly, no.
Okay. And then Harold, you've reached the giant.
Right. How tall is he?
Huge.
Like I have to climb this motherfucker. Like.
Yes, definitely. You probably
Can I climb up to high?
You can climb up him, or you can go around the way that that Harrison did, like around the up top of the ruin.
As long as I get the nutsack level, I'm good.
If you jumped, you could probably make it.
Sweet. I'd like to jump up there and grab hold of his massive ass thigh, and just with my dagger, just stick it close to his gonads, and just like I like parlay with the giant.
Did you say parlay?
Yeah, I like to parlay.
Let's see if you can get up there first.
Sure. Well, what do I roll for that?
I mean, I think it would be I guess it would be well, he's not really attacking you. He's just kind of, or maybe he is. I'll say to get up there, it would either be
Defy danger?
Yeah, maybe, because maybe at this point he's mean, he's not so stupid. So maybe he realizes that you're getting close. Maybe he's like swinging one of his big meaty hands to try to like grab you. So you're gonna have to basically just get out of the way of that. But you can, if you do it right, you can totally use that to sort of get to where you want to go. Like maybe like jump off of it or climb it.
Yeah, exactly.
So how would you?
You with strength?
Yeah, sure. So yes.
Yeah, no, I like to spring off of his hand up to his gonads. Seems like a good idea. Yep.
So this is happening roughly at the same time that Harrison is negotiating with the goblin up there. I'll say the goblin has sort of like jumped off of the giant's shoulder and is now like up there with Harrison. The other goblin that was coming up to Harrison from behind, this like little spellcasty like tattooed goblin is going to give him the paws, and and they're talking, and then now Harold wants to parley with the giant. So roll charisma, and the leverage I suppose you have is his massive nuts.
I would like for the giant to work under me instead of this shit ass goblin.
That
your balls, or you work with me, dude. Like, I mean,
I stab them, not I will stomp on them.
I'll say that what you could ask for would be something that begins moving in that kind of direction, but maybe not, because I'm not sure. Like if you had to show,
flick away your boss, goblin. Like then the magic fun, just flick him away, please.
Well, the issue is that on a 7 or 9, when it comes to some concrete assurance of your promise, well, I guess we can figure that out. Okay, yeah. So what do you want him to do? Scratch everything I just said. Everything's open. What do you want him to do?
Okay. I wanted to put him, but I guess that's not possible.
No, it's back on the table now. It's back on the table.
Okay. Yeah. No. I'll tell him to work under me instead of that, shit ass goblin. Work under a mighty war instead. Otherwise, this nut is gone.
Roll parlay.
Are you serious? Oh my god. He really values his nuts, dude.
So, yeah, so he
creature you are. If you're a man, you care if you're not.
So that's a 12. So,
Giants like their nads. What can you say?
So the giant is going to give a loud bellow, and
Chewbacca style.
Yeah, there's the loud The goblin is going. The magic goblin is going to like look over, like what the fuck is going on, and all of the other goblins kind of stop what they're doing as the giant is bellowing. You can see finally the dwarf is coming up out of the hole. Maybe somebody can see. I guess Harrison, he's at a high point. You can see the dwarf is finally coming out of the hole and like looking around, and then the giant is going to look over at the magic goblin, and it's just gonna reach its hand out and like scoop him up, and you're gonna hear a crunch. And then his fingers move, and you see this like sort of blood and like mush kind of like drip out from his clenched fist, and then what do you guys do?
Move the knife. Thank you.
The other goblins are going to scatter.
So the leader goblin just got smeared.
Yes.
Simba style, like.
I see this and I'll shout, "Run, you rodents!"
And people laugh
And
when I picture my
I'm going to run to Harrison and attempt to heal him because I know he was singed in the fighting.
Thank you.
Rook, really quick, before all that, you were tangling with this goblin in the brush. How did that turn out?
Well, I will. I guess I'll hack and slash.
Okay, so you're just kind of like in a stabbing match with this thing.
Yeah.
All right, and so go ahead and deal damage, and he'll have dealt damage to you. Ooh, nice. Yes. So you're able to kill him, and he does a little damage to you, but I think you have armor, so I don't think he's actually gonna be able to hurt you at all. Yeah. So after you guys tussle around a little bit, you're able to get the killing blow, and then you'll hear the bellow of the giant and the other goblin.
I will emerge from my bush.
Bloody. You got like goblin blood on you. So you look like you did something. And yes, what's next?
Nachos.
Back down the hole.
Cast my healing spell. I hope.
I'll climb up to the giant's shoulder and have a conversation about a new partnership.
Yeah, he says, what do you say?
I ask him why such a mighty warrior would work under someone so puny.
He says, I work for Tum Tum, the Unbreakable.
What if I could prove he is breakable?
He thinks about this for a little longer than you would think is necessary, and he says, how do you break what is unbreakable?
Actions speak louder than words. Follow me and I will prove it. I will show you a broken Tum Tum.
And he says I follow Tum Tum, but I made promise to you. I keep promise for as long as I can.
When Tum Tum is dead, or at least broken, you will work for me.
And
then we'll go separate ways.
And he'll nod, and he says, what's a good giant name? What's a good giant name? Does anybody have any recommendations? We've got Tum Tum as the template here, so.
Grom.
Grom? Yeah, I like that.
Sounds like a good giant name.
Yeah, Grom. I like Grom. So he'll say, "My name is Grom. What is yours?"
Harold Holstrom.
And there's a flicker of recognition in his eyes, and but he doesn't say anything, and he just nods, and he says, "We will meet again."
I nod and I start sliding down his body.
And okay, and then what are we doing?
So I successfully healed Harrison for 6, but because I rolled a 7, I drew unwelcome attention and put myself in a spot. The GM will tell me how.
Draw unwelcome attention to put yourself in a spot. GM will tell you how. So when you cast the magic as the giant is turning away, the flash of magic, or the light that it brings, is going to catch his interest, and he's going to he's going to extend one hand towards Tyrion, and he says, "You cast demon magic," and he goes to it looks like he's going to go grab you. What do you do?
I hold my staff out and say, I would never cast demon magic. My magic holds demons at bay. This was healing magic.
He seems unconvinced, and but
Are you injured?
Look at me. I'm completely fine. Your little friend just burned me a couple seconds ago. All my burns are gone.
He's gonna look at Harold.
Sacrifice. I suggest Harrison. Is that Tyrion?
Please don't pick me up. I'm terrified of heights.
He's gonna look at Harold for guidance in this situation.
They're both fine. It was a joke. It's all good.
If you are injured, large friend, I can try to heal you as well.
And he'll wave you away, and he says, "Do not touch me with demon magic." And that's the last thing he says before he'll trudge off. Now, Harold, I think eventually I was thinking about this, about writing a custom move for you and your overall goal. Something like call the banners or something like that, where we could where if you're sort of getting people into your service, like maybe some kind of custom move where you could roll to reach out to one of these people who owe you a favor, and see if they, depending on the roll, see if they respond, or how strongly they respond. But I don't know exactly how to phrase it yet. But I'm just thinking about it, because I think that'd be, specifically for what you're trying to do, I think that'd be pretty cool.
Like Con of Cons or something. I think we'll talk about this.
Okay.
Because there are that I can pick there for recruiting and that kind of thing. So.
Oh, okay, right, okay. Oh, yeah. So we'll look at that and we'll talk about it. Cool. So the giant is gone now. The dwarf is just like he's looking at Harold, and he says because you had introduced yourself to the giant, and he says, and the dwarf says, "Oh, so you're that Harold, are you? The one about the one in the songs?"
Harrison, is it me?
Yes, it is.
Well,
That's correct. Yep.
Well, Bard, you can add a new verse. The Talker of Giants.
the talker of giants.
Oh,
He hardly wears any pants.
And
Seriously, cover that thing up.
and he says
Nana's going to blush.
Right?
He said, "Did you save your battle boner?" Sorry, I took it there. I
That's okay. You know,
This was a
take it back.
someone had to.
This was a classy affair, and I took a stand.
We're all just jealous that we didn't think of it. It's the alliteration that I'm jealous of.
Battle boners.
That's a good name for a. Never mind. So yes, but he says, well, perhaps half of what's in the songs are true. I wouldn't have believed it if I hadn't seen it for myself.
I don't respond well to compliments. Harrison, take over. And I start walking away for a piss.
Thank you. I worked really hard on these songs for a real long time, and
And he'll just kind of he likes you. He'll entertain you for a moment. And then what is the group doing as a whole? I think Aziz was heading back towards the hole.
Well, I want to check on Nana.
Oh right, yeah. She's still down there. I'm sorry, Tyrion. What'd you say?
I was gonna say I'm gonna pull Joffrey aside and say, friend Joffrey, seems as though some of the warlords in the area are interested in what is in that ruin. It may be best if we help Nana pull out whatever it is, so that their interest wanes. I know you're worried about curses, but curses are ephemeral things. The attention of warlords is much more real and destructive.
And he says, we're on our way to the Freelands. What does it matter to me what the warlords do? Although, you bring up a good point. Anything that comes out of that hole is a danger to everyone. It's a tough decision. But if you travel with Harold, I leave it in your hands to do what's right.
In the meantime, while they're down there, have you any food that has spoiled that I can fix for you?
And Geraldo, who has rallied the people, albeit too late, has come up and he says, well, our rations did take to the damp. They have spoiled.
I can unspoil them for you while the others, but not Harrison, are down in the hole.
And while you're doing that, Geraldo is gonna kind of whisper. He says, "Is it true what the giant said? Demon magic?"
Not demon magic. My God is the protector of the downtrodden and the forgotten. The salvation of those who would stand and fight for themselves and for those who cannot fight. That is where my power comes from, not from the creatures of the dark.
I absolutely take your word for it. I didn't mean to offend. It's just, I don't know much about the gods.
You offer no offense. You asked a question and I answered it. There is no ill will between us. Please.
Harrison, Tyrion has forbidden you from going into the hole. How will you pass the time?
Guess I'll talk to my good pal Duncan.
Yes, Duncan, who is ecstatic. He's like, did you see the way I pulled that string back and I got that goblin, got him right in his face. Oops.
Any luck on that coin?
He says, Oh, no. But what do you need coins for? You're traveling with the famous Harold, Harold the Great, the ones that all the songs are about.
Duncan, you know who wrote those songs?
And he says, yeah, of course I do. One of the most famous bards in all the land. I think his name was, what was your rival's name?
I want to tell you. Clive Gesualdo.
He says one of the most famous bards in all the land, Clive Gesualdo.
Where did you hear that?
I spit
Where
at the mention of his name.
Did you hear that hogwash name?
And he says, well, everybody knows.
Everybody knows what? That he stole that song? That's my song.
Well, I didn't know. That's just what they
This
say.
washed up bard, far from Happy Tree, comes and claims my songs as his own. That's illegal. I can't believe this. I can't believe this. So I'm like pacing back and forth angrily, like in front of the campfire. Wait till I get my hands around his grimy little throat.
Well, you're heading to Vulture's Arena, aren't you?
Yes!
I hear he's playing the Blood Bowl.
He won't be playing the Blood Bowl by the time I get there. I have a few choice words with him.
And he says, is Harold going to go fight in the Blood Bowl?
Oh, he fights for my name in the Blood Bowl.
And he says, do you think he could fight for our town?
Oh, of course he could. For, what's this? Oh, for Turnip Town?
Yes. It's custom that anyone can challenge the warlords for anything. They can challenge their champion and win freedom. It's been done. Well, it's been tried.
I can speak with him. I'm sure he'd be quite all right with helping you guys out. Also, let me say another thing about Clive Gesualdo real quick. You know he murdered a poor innocent woman in her sleep.
Is like, do you just go on a rant, or like is this the part where we kind of?
Her name was Francesca.
Yeah, we kind of like fade out as you go into your normal Clive Gesualdo rant.
Well, he did kill my lover. What can I say? Of course I'm going to be spurned by him. And now he's stealing my music? Who is this little shit?
Your greatest rival.
I know, and I'm going to get his ass kicked at the Blood Bowl.
Tyrion, you've heard it all before, so.
I nod in all the right places. I curse in all the right places. I spit in all the right places.
Yeah. And
I'm
this
very
is why I'm writing a ballad about you, my friend.
Now Tyrion, does this appeal for Harold to fight for the Turnip Town? Does that appeal to you at all, or is that like?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I mean, these people seem pretty downtrodden to me. They're living off of rotten food, and they're fleeing from the warlords. So, I also will stand for Turnip Town.
And me as well.
Yeah, Duncan's like when you say it, he's like, but he's like super pumped to hear Tyrion say it, like.
Yeah, Tyrion does it in like a cool and suave kind of way, and I'm just like, I will as well. And my hands will be on my hips, like puff out my chest.
And then I'll go behind you, trying to adjust the pose a little bit.
Yeah. Ooh, sorry, more taut.
All right, so in the hole. Who all is in the hole? Everybody else, I guess.
Yep.
So, Harold, Rook, and Aziz, you go down back into the hole. What's going on?
Just checking on Nana.
Yes, she's down there. She seems to just be sitting on the floor in the middle of the center room, and she's flipping through a little notebook she has, and every now and then she'll get up and walk over to one of the doors and say something in ancient Elvish, and then it won't work, and she'll go back to the center of the room and she'll like start flipping through her book some more. So that appears to be what she's doing.
Okay. Well, as she's looking through the book, and I'll just be like, do you need help with the language or the words?
And she says, of course, if you could provide it, but sadly you said you don't speak it. She'll look at...
I do not, but there is the elf in the caravan.
Elf? Oh, no, my dear. No elves speak the ancient tongue any longer.
It sounds very familiar to the way she was talking to me.
Well, perhaps it could be worth a try. I'm coming up fruitless down here.
Why are you talking about language? Aren't we supposed to open doors and walk through them? Explore?
Oh, my poor brave, my brave, beautiful but simple man.
Compliment.
She says, these doors are activated by magic. I'm sure some ancient elven passphrase will open them.
I look to Aziz. I place one hand on his shoulder and I just say, good luck. And then this is not my forte. I'm not gonna be here. I'm gonna make something explode. It's not great.
All right. So Aziz, what do you do?
Well, I mean, I guess if she wants to talk to the elf, we gotta go back to the caravan.
Okay. Rook, do you want to chime in?
No.
All right. And
Oh god.
so you guys make your way back up. Nana will come back up with you. Harold, as soon as you come back up, Duncan is like all over you, just like telling you that Harrison said you're gonna fight for Turnip Town in the Blood Bowl. Tyrion seems pretty jazzed about it.
So hey, how's it going, chat? I wanted to let you know real quick. You'll probably be fighting in the Blood Bowl.
What?
And even better, you can be doing it for the sake of freeing Turnip Town from the warlords.
Who?
The people here, you know, like good old pal Duncan.
This guy?
Yes.
Stole us.
Yes.
I'm looking up and down. Like, he's still
Harold.
excited.
Harold. He's a misguided youth. He doesn't know any better. He could use to learn a thing or two from you and your wisdom.
I'm not great with people when it comes to understanding, but I know you're a liar.
I'm not lying. I'm being truthful. Ask Duncan. Look at him. He's enamored by you.
And you look over, and his eyes are like little
That's a big word. You'll have to explain that.
Oh, sorry. He's in love with you, and not in the mating way.
Thank
He
the
is-
gods.
he is-
Okay.
God.
Ugh. All right. I need to find the Blood Bowl. Is that it?
The caravan's on the way there.
Oh boy.
Oh, come on, Harold. Come on, big guy. You've got this. Lighten up.
I haven't even seen the warlords yet. I've been on this continent for like a month.
Come on now. You're not wussing out on me, are you? The big strong herald scared of a couple warlords. That's not what the stories and songs said.
No kidding, you're the one who wrote them.
And Duncan is like, oh, no, you don't have to
okay.
fight the warlords. You just have to fight their champions.
Darcy?
Oh, never mind. Okay, easy.
He just changes like that. He's like, warlords? You know how they got to that position? Oh, there's the champions? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, well,
Uh-huh, yeah, that's slice of cake.
made a giant surrender. I don't care.
I got grabbed him by his nads and told him to give up.
So, oh, great, another train.
Another train.
How do they know?
I mean, that's the secret to beating the warlord, or to beating their champions. It's just, stabbing them in the nads, really.
Stab him in the nads.
You just cut off the balls. I mean, done.
So,
You grab and you cut and it's done.
So, and this conversation can be happening on the way back to the caravan. Aziz, would you like to take point here?
Before we leave them, how many times would I need to cast Sanctify in order to clean up their food? Like, how much food are we talking?
Let's see here. What does it say?
It says, food or water you hold in your hands while you cast this spell is consecrated by your deity.
Oh, yeah, it's a spell. Duh.
In addition to being holy, the affected substance is purified of any mundane spoilage.
Yeah, you can just cast it one time if you like. But do.
Okay, cool.
But I believe you do have to roll to cast the spell.
Yep, I did. I got a 9, which means I have to choose one of the things, and the putting myself in danger one, since there's not really anything going on, doesn't make sense.
Right.
So I'm going to take the -1 on future spells until I've communed from that one.
Okay. All right, and
So I give them a bunch of blessed, holy, and unspoiled food.
Okay. So
to them before we leave.
And Aziz, you guys make it back to the camp. Hera is going to greet you all with a stiff nod, and she's going to gesture with her hand towards a simmering bowl of stew that Clive is very attentively standing over and like dashing little bits of spice into and tasting it and like dashing a little bit more spice into.
All right. Well, as we're walking past, and it was like, yeah, we found the giant that was following us. Took care of that too, and just keep walking.
She's like, giant. She says, giant.
I grab a wooden bowl and just scoop a bowl of soup.
And you will find your moon elf. She is the little half the half giant is what would he be doing for her? Maybe he's like rearranging her furniture, like in different configurations, and she's just like sort of directing him on how to do it. And yeah, when you arrive.
Okay.
When she sees you, her eyes will like widen, and she'll tell the giant to stop, and or the half giant to stop, and she'll turn towards you and she will say, "Are you okay? Are you okay?"
Sorry, I keep looking at Morgan because Titan was just picked up and carried away, like kidnap style.
Unceremoniously escorted from the room.
It was
Here's
really
Mr.
funny.
Gaming. And Josh could not figure out a way to get him out of the room without disrupting the stream, so he just walked in, reached under his short legs, and just doop, 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 out of the room. And I'm like sitting here going, nope, nothing happening here.
Not all heroes wear capes.
Cake and I are like trying not to laugh, but it's so hard. It's so funny.
So, so the moon elf, when she sees you, Aziz, her eyes will widen and she'll say, "Dear friend," and she'll invite you to sit down on her very large pillow.
Hello again. I was wondering, I have a new friend here, and I'll point to Nan. Who
Hello.
is very curious about the language you speak.
And she'll look at Nan and she'll say something, and it's such a light language. It almost sounds like music when it's spoken. And Nan will respond in kind, a little shakier, but in kind. The moon elf seems to be whose name is Fala, by the way. She will Fala, yeah. She will seem a little surprised, and they will converse a little bit more. But it becomes very clear to any onlookers that Nana is out of her depth. Nana will say, "Would you accompany us to an off-site location? You can bring your manservant with you, of course, and we could use some translations." The moon elf will look to you, Aziz.
Okay. Well, we found some ruins just outside in the forest. And there's actually another group of elves there as well.
And she nods and she says, "You may take me. I will go."
Okay. Would you like to ride?
And are you rolling to turn her on, or slip into some monster hearts?
Spicy.
Yeah. What animal will you turn into?
Let's see. She's an elf. We'll probably go elephant again.
Okay.
Well, how forested was it? Would it be like?
I mean, the giant was able to make it through.
Okay, so yeah, I'll try for an elephant again. Outside the circle of wagons, so I don't have to disrupt anything.
Start knocking over Stu.
Yeah.
Clive's like, "No!" Oh, beautiful. Cannot fail. So hold 3, and you turn into an elephant. Her man, I can't remember what his name is at the moment, but he will lift her up and put her on top of the elephant. And you guys may continue back to the place. Unless anybody needed to do anything at the moment, we'll just arrive there.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Yeah. So this time when the elephant comes back through the brush, Duncan's been with you the whole time, by the way, and he's just like, "Whoa!" Just freaking out about everything, and on the way back he might even like kind of to Harrison be like, he'll kind of as an aside to Harrison, he's like, "What's up with the hot elf lady?"
Actually, I don't know. I could find out though.
He's like, "You think I got a shot?"
You, donkey. Let me teach you a thing, boy. So I'll, on my way up. I'm gonna you know how like in Spanish, we know like most people know like a little bit of like broken Spanglish, like hola. Like he's gonna say the equivalent of hello in a really bad Elvish accent. Hello.
She's up on the elephant. Aziz, you know what Harrison's trying to do here. Do you have a response?
Give me a lift. Give me a lift. Come on, bring down the trunk.
Wait a minute. Come on.
Yeah, I want to see just how bad this goes. So yeah, I'll give Harrison a lift.
All right,
Right
so,
on,
you,
man, I'll
so, you,
pat you on
so,
the
you,
trunk.
so you rise up on the trunk as you say your broken Elvish saying.
Hello.
And then she will speak fluently and beautifully to you.
Oh, if only I understand the words from the lips of an angel.
And she'll give a little laugh, and she'll say, "Do you know what I have just said?"
No, but I'm sure it was something quite about my charming looks.
And she laughs again, and she says, "No, I'm afraid I don't like women."
Oh, you have me mistaken, and I'll take a sit next to it.
I don't know how an elephant laughs, but I'm doing it.
You're very
You
fair.
have me mistaken.
You're
Can we
fair.
all hear this?
Yes.
Harold started laughing again. Yeah, as well.
No.
Shake his head.
You have me mistaken, miss. I am not a woman. I am a man. Can't you tell by my muscles and my lute-playing fingers? See the calluses on them? Not by a sword, but of a lute, of course.
By your fair skin.
I'm leaning over Tyrion because I can barely stand. He's dying in laughter.
I whisper to Harold, "Do we help?"
No.
By your fair skin and your lithe body and your apparel,
Loud wardrobe.
it would appear that you are destined for the fairer sex. I feel as though we could do a makeover.
And he'll sit down and he'll go, you know what? I think I might take you up on that offer. Everybody seems to think I'm a woman or weak, and I can still fight. I can still prove myself worthy. I'll take you up on the makeover.
And she'll
And perhaps I can braid your hair.
she'll smile devilishly, but at that point you guys have arrived.
I feel like Harold and Tyrion are like leaning on each other for support as they're laughing.
And and Duncan's having a great time too. And
Someone does not want to go.
the monster.
I just love that Josh was like lurking in the doorway, like, how do I go about this?
Are we going again? Ready? Do-do.
There he goes. He just felt like a baby.
So when you arrive back at the place, all of the elves who look very different from this moon elf. If there's if there's different elves, I guess these would be like more like wood elves, and whereas she's like a moon elf. But they will gather around in like kind of wonderment, like who is this strange elf, and also like where did this elephant come from? But the dwarf will kind of keep his distance. He's sitting back at the fire. He's not one of the ones who comes over, and as you guys get down off the elephant, you can lead her over to the hole. Now, unfortunately, though this hole is a decent size, her giant friend or her half giant friend will not be able to get down. There seems to be like an unspoken disagreement between them. She's going to win, and he will stay at the top of the hole, as she will descend into the underground chamber. When you guys all arrive back down there, Nana will take her around to the doors, and Fala will begin to translate like what she sees. At the small door, she says, "This is knowledge," and on the other one, she says, "This is treasure." Which would you like me to open?
Both. That's a good question.
Let's ask Nana.
And
Nana?
She says, "Knowledge, knowledge, of course, knowledge."
Oh, really? I was thinking treasure.
Same.
Drat. Age before beauty.
What?
It's age before beauty.
That doesn't make any sense.
Elders
Nana
before
is
the pretty ones.
Nah.
And
just die in my home country.
Fala will turn to you and she'll say, "And what if you are both?"
Old and beautiful? Then you're a lucky lady, and I'll give her a coy wink. How old are you, fella?
And she says, "Older than I would like to admit." And she'll turn back to.
I thought you told me you weren't supposed to ask a woman that.
You aren't, but I'm being a flirt.
And
These customs Tyrion.
Nor do I.
I give them like flirting tips on the side. Never ask a woman any of numbers, age, weight,
well,
what time they ate.
well, you've got so much time while you're traveling, so you're probably just sitting on the back of a horse, just rattling off like all the time, like.
Yeah,
And she gives
always.
her contradictory advice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, to anyone who's
Every
listening.
time he always fails.
To anyone who's listening, to actually listening to Harrison, he probably contradicts himself like,
All
at
the
least
time.
once every 20 minutes or so. So she'll go over to the knowledge door, which is the smaller one, and she will sing to the door. The carvings on the door that look so lifelike, they'll begin to respond to the song, and as they do, the wood itself will seem to come back to life, and it will sort of like tree roots sort of pull away from the middle of itself and sort of extend like tree roots around the side of the archway frame and create an opening. When it does this, there is there's a way through, and there's like a small stone sort of archway that goes into another room. From the outside, it looks dark, and Nana will bring her light down and sort of urge her light into the room, which turns out to be very small indeed, and full of. There's one small table with a skeleton. Like in robes, sort of like resting on the tabletop with its head down, and then there will be bookshelves in the room as well, and but most of them are empty. There's probably like 3 bookshelves in the room, but from where you can see at the doorway, they appear to be almost completely bare.
I'm gonna check out the skeleton.
Yes, and
I like to grab a random book.
okay. So probably only about 4 of you could fit. Well, I have to account for the halflings. I think all of you could probably fit in there because the halflings don't take up so much space. But the follow will stay outside, and of course Nana is like the first one in there. So she'll go in and she'll actually go with Harold, and she'll probably be like check that top shelf for books. Be careful with them though. They're old.
Slowly then, I guess.
And
I have like 4 or 5 books, and then I just take one and start looking in it.
and there's probably about 5 books in the entire room. These bookshelves are pretty bare. So if you collect them all, she'll be very pleased. What were the rest of you doing?
I was going to go look at the skeleton and make sure that it is just a skeleton.
Okay. How would you like to go about doing that?
You said it was like it looked like it was hooded.
Well, it doesn't have a hood. You can see its skull and these like thin wisps of hair on top, like white hair. And the robe is old, but remarkably preserved. It's not like tattered or anything. It's pretty preserved, and very elaborate as well.
Nice. Yeah, I'm just gonna tap it on the head, just like, hello.
And so when you do, it's going to shift a little bit. Not like it's moving, but just like the slightest disturbance kind of like gives one of the bones to sort of give out. And Aziz, you're going to something very familiar and terrifying is going to happen as you begin to hear a chill comes into the room, and you begin to hear these whispers in the distance.
Okay.
And everyone is going to hear this. Aziz, this is what happens when a whispering wraith begins to cross the barrier.
We gotta go or fight now. I suggest go.
I need more time to think.
I'm already gone.
Whispering Wraith is.
So we either go. Go.
I grabbed the book that I'm currently trying to read with both hands, like over my head, like ready to strike when the thing is there.
As a cleric, would I realize that this whispering is heralding the oncoming of some undead?
Possibly.
Could Aziz or I spout lore?
Well, Aziz pretty much knows exactly what this is. I don't know if it would have come up in the course of conversation, so I'll let you guys decide what you know and what you don't.
I'm sure Aziz knows everything about, or not everything, but mostly all about it.
I am sure that they probably heard me tell stories about, my homeland and why you don't follow the glittery things.
The glittery things. But they're so
Um,
shiny.
I know. But essentially, the whispering wraiths are the corrupted souls of people that died in the cataclysm that occurred in the Whispering Plains.
Harold, these people are already dead. You don't need to kill them again.
But
but
they
it
will
feels
hunt you down and suck the life out of you.
It's not worth it.
So based off of that, I would reach for my holy symbol to prepare to protect and realize it's gone. Dun dun dun. My holy symbol is missing. I cannot hold the undead at bay.
And then, like, out of reflex, I'll dart a look at Rook, and I'll be like, but like just so Rook can see it. So like a, was it you sort of thing?
I'm
Did you-
halfway up the ladder.
But I don't want to lose my youthful looks. I don't want the life sucked out of me, so I suggest we leave. You can't fight anybody in the Blood Bowl, Herald, if you have no strength and it's all sapped from you.
And so the whispering is intensifying.
In the first place.
Herald.
The whispering is intensifying, and
We need to go.
it draws ever
As
closer.
the whispering is intensifying, I'll say, has anybody seen a golden hammer on a necklace? It would help us greatly in this situation.
I think it's more of a reason for us to go now, Tyrion.
Um,
I'm keeping
No.
myself interposed between, was it Fala
How?
and the door.
okay.
I thought you were accusing her. I was like,
I'm just like, I've got my staff, and because
Fala is moving towards the ladder. She's not fearful, but she's cautious, and she's moving towards the ladder as well, probably following Rook, and Aziz, you're beginning to see this thing sort of manifest in the room. The magic orb of light that Nana has cast is it's almost like sort of dimming it, causing the room to darken. She's going to look up at Harold, and she says, let's go. And she's going to try to tug Harold along. Maybe not so much because she loves you, but maybe because you're the one carrying the books. So
I'm going to stash away the books, and I'm gonna grab Nana and go up the fucking ladder.
okay. That just leaves Harrison, Aziz, and Tyrion.
bye. Yup.
Yeah, I'm
When I'm
basically
up-
trying.
when they're coming up.
Like I'm planning on being the last one out.
all right, then once everybody else is safe, then I look at Aziz and then go.
Yep, I got my spear at the ready, and I'm backing out.
So Aziz, since you're the last one, I would like you to defy danger as this thing is coming is crossing the veil. How will you counter its maddening whispers?
Counter the maddening whispers. I'm gonna go with through mental fortitude, so wisdom.
Hey.
Okay.
I rolled an 8.
So.
So these whispers will get louder, but they'll also start to form into some words that you understand here and there, and the words are going to whisper of a terrible death at the Blood Bowl. And a vision you're going to see is Harrison reaching for Harold, and Harold being being killed, and Harrison staring at the at this looming shadow, and and this large shadow just sort of coming down and crushing Harrison, and that is what you will see as you get out.
Okay. Yeah. When I get to the top, I'm just gonna shake my head to clear the visions and close it. Pull that manhole cover thing down.
Yes. You can hear the whispering as it's like rising up through the darkness, and as soon as you put the manhole back down, the whispering completely stops.
Harold, I've had a vision. We must talk after we bury this again. And I start throwing dirt on top of the
Right. I help him throw dirt on it.
biggest rocks I can find.
Here, let me help. I'm going to impress Fala. I grab the biggest rock I can find, which is about this big.
She will look over at her half giant, and he will grab one like the size, like probably 3,000 times the size of yours.
Let me help you with that big guy. I'll come over and pretend to help.
Yeah, I am not gonna. I will talk with Harold about the vision, but in private back at the caravan.
Okay.
Burying this guy back into the grave he belongs in.
The dwarf is still down at the campfire, and he's like looking up at the ruins as you guys are popping out, and he says, "I told you, didn't I? I told you shouldn't be messing with elven magic. I warned you."
Yes, you did.
Let it be known, Jorah, Joffrey Dugan, he knows. All right, so
I know, but how could you say no to this cute little old woman's face?
Pah.
And like pans over to Nana, and she's like, got all these cute little wrinkles and shit.
He says, "There's more behind that face than you know. Write a song about that bard."
How dare you insult her? I think she's the most beautiful woman.
And he says, "Despite your transgressions and ignoring my advice, you did help us out with the giant, and I thank you for that. I owe you for that. I'm gonna see these people as far into the free lands as I can before I head back to Gagazet."
Gaga who?
Well, you're a worldly bard, surely you know. It's where all dwarves are from. Mount Gagazet.
Mount Gagazet. It's been a minute since I've been there.
They wouldn't let the likes of you in, no. Oh.
Not when you have good old Melvin Spelvin helping you out. He disguised us as dwarves, actually, and we had ourselves a good time down there.
And, Spelvin, you say?
I get serious. Tunnel vision on Joffrey. What do you know about Melvin Spelvin?
Well, I know he's a nice man. He came through not too long ago.
How recent?
Well, it's in dwarven time, so it's, you know.
Okay, well, can you convert it to bard time?
He says, a couple years ago, I think.
Okay. What was he doing, just passing through?
Yes, he was heading south.
Heading south, did he say where?
Oh, to the Whispering Plains.
Did he say why?
He was a little touchy about that. I didn't push it. He helped us with our turnip crops.
Well, thank you, Joffrey, for your help. He was my mentor, and I haven't seen him in a couple years, so probably more.
Well, maybe that's for the best. If he'd seen how you turned out now.
What's that supposed to mean?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Here, have a drink.
I don't want your pity drink. Oh, I'll have a sip. Quick to forgive.
And
Well,
oh, go ahead.
once you've seen these people clear, if you go our way again, feel free to look us up.
Here's our business stone.
He says, that I might do. That I might do. Fate has a funny way of bringing people back together again.
That it
You
does.
could say that again. Sorry. Say it again.
And with that, do we want to do anything else before we end for the night?
I kind of wanted to hear how the conversation with Aziz and Harold will go down, just because I'm nosy and I would love to see how that would.
Let's absolutely do that. Anything else we need to do?
Other than that, I don't think so.
Okay.
Unless Rook or Tyrion needed to do anything.
I just need to figure out where to get a new holy symbol since it's
No, yeah, that's right. You're on the lookout.
imminent doom is enough to make him fess up, so if that's not going to work, nothing is.
You need to start grabbing people by the balls and asking them questions. Then they'll start fessing up.
That's the way.
Harold's like, let me teach you a thing or two.
I learned this at the academy.
So, okay. So later that night, maybe while the camp is asleep, maybe Harold and Aziz are on watch together. And how does that conversation go?
So take this for what it's worth, because it came from the Whispering Madness, but I had a vision of you falling in the Blood Bowl to a large individual. And Harrison was there as well, holding your limp and bloodied body.
Oh, okay.
That's what I saw.
Oh.
Now, whether there's any truth to this vision, I do not know, but take care.
But you have had similar visions, not similar, but other visions before that were truthful, right?
Yes, I have. The ones
gods
that
are angry with me.
guided me to you, for that matter. I believe, yes.
The gods are angry. They must be really angry. I need to make a sacrifice.
Oh, Fala! In the background. Please don't kick me out of your tent. Okay, big guy, I'm leaving.
Thank you, Aziz, for this. I need to speak with Harrison tomorrow. I think it's a good idea to speak with him now. And look over to the tent.
I was sulking back to mine.
Anyways, maybe this is my gods speaking through you. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's something completely different.
And it could all be a lie. Don't forget that. It was the Whispering Madness, so
Yeah, I haven't really figured it out, but what exactly that is. I know you told me, but man,
So the Whispering Madness. You're not sure what that is?
right, yeah.
He pulls out
Well.
a chalkboard, like.
It's said that the civilization that once occupied these plains, some dark magics laid waste to the entire civilization. And these spirits occasionally come through to our side, and they drain life and sanity, and that's what was showed up in the downstairs in the ruins. That's where the name the Whispering Plains got its name. Those are the voices you hear on the winds.
Okay.
So, but whether they speak the truth or not, no one ever knows.
I am going to be completely honest. That didn't really clear anything up, but freaky. Good night, Aziz. Good talk.
Sleep well.
Good talk. And I go to the moon elf's tent, see if I can try my luck.
Yeah, the big guy is gonna kind of he's standing in front of the tent, and he's just kind of looks down at you, and he just shakes his head.
Now hold on a second. I pop out of my tent in just my loincloth.
Yeah, the half giant just shakes his head.
Can you ask her?
No.
Shakes his head.
Pretty please.
Well, fuck you too, and I go back to my tent.
Oh god.
And
Aziz tries.
No, I just waved to the giant as I head back to my little cot.
Gives you a nod. Harrison, by the way, when you were singing Tufala earlier, or singing outside of her tent, you were singing and playing on your lute, which is fixed.
Yes. So that gave me a couple brownie points. Give me that much at least, just a couple, because I'm real good at my lute.
Yeah, you can't tell if she enjoyed it, but the
big guy didn't. I know.
Yeah, the half giant seemed to be pretty annoyed.
He's not a big fan of the performance arts. That's all good.
It's more of a drum and bass kind of guy.
Yeah, and I get that. That's just not my forte. I'm a stick and rock kind of guy. And I think that's pretty much it.
All right, and so with that, we shall end. Let's go ahead and we shall say good night. Of course. Of course.
Always tomorrow.
Thank you for checking out the Action Sturge. You can find us on Twitter at theactionsturge. You can find us on YouTube by following the link on our Twitch page. And thank you Forkpuff for throwing out a shout out for the Plastered Dragon as well, because he has his own channel. Would you like to talk about that real quick, Plastered?
We have an Extra Life charity streaming channel. We do D&D, Neverwinter, some video games and stuff. And we have some new campaigns that are going to be starting up real soon. Pop by, give us a watch if you get a chance. Fun stuff. And Forkpuff has dropped the link in there, so you can come and check us out. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you everybody. Thank you Plastered. Thank you Mort Cake. Thank you Terry, Forkpuff, and Deacon Smith. Let's go ahead and raid somebody. And
I see Risen Gaia is streaming now.
All right. pop over and say hey to them. And with that, come back and check us out every Wednesday at 8:30 or at 8. Sorry, at 8 p.m. Sorry, at 7:30.
It's getting
for us.
later.
Yeah. Hey, so 8 o'clock, and thank you very much. Right now.